Hello, this is Kevin Veroneau from Kevin Veroneau Consulting Services. This video is to demonstrate our project management website our clients can utilize. Kevin Veroneau Consulting Services is a Linux consulting and web development company. We both service Linux servers and provide web development to our many satisfied clients. Our other independent contracting services normally do not provide the advanced tools which Kevin Veroneau Consulting Services has built and provides. With Kevin Veroneau Consulting Services, you can be sure that you will always be in the loop while your product is being developed and maintained. You will always have access to the latest updates and development efforts. All of these services are provided on our website, https://www.veroneau.net, which is of course secured using standard SSL technology proven in the financial industry to keep information private and personal. Okay, so welcome to this demonstration video, which is going to go through the project management system here. First, we're going to touch on the quotes. So when you first sign into your account, you're going to be welcomed by normally this screen here, which is going to show your company name or your name, your username, your email address, and the number of quotes you have with us. This here can alter your time zone. You can click this and change your time zone accordingly. And here are the quotes over here. Go to My Quotes, and you can see that you can create a new quote from here as well. You just fill in the appropriate information, and the new quote will be created and requested to us. You can easily select the anticipated finish date and such. And this is an example quote here that I created for demonstration purposes. It says what date it was requested on and the due date, the date that you anticipate that you want it completed by. So we go small business website here, and we have our username, the company name, the contact information, and the contact method, project type, and a brief description of the project and what the project is requesting, and all the other information here. Then we have some work orders here as well, which explains the start on and the finished on. And then some notes, and then various bugs, and then resources, which I'll get into later. So first, let's go into the Actions button here. Here's where you can cancel your project, which you don't need to, unless you are not satisfied with your service, but so far no client of mine has pressed this button. Edit Details will bring you to this page here where you can modify your details, modify this, you can add a phone number, change your preferred contact method, and of course change the anticipated date. And then you can add yourself a note as well. It gives you access to full bootstrap styles too, so you can select from multiple different styles. This is an example note. We save that, and then we notice that it's there. And I will also receive an email when you create a note. If I create a note, you will receive a notification as well in regards to the note. Okay. So now that we have that, we're going to go to and look at the invoice system here. Currently there sees that there's no invoice here. I want to go over here and trigger an invoice just to give you an idea on how the payment system works through my consulting website and how everything's all unified. And so, as noticed here, there should be there's a finished work order here. If we go into my open work orders, you'll notice finished work order is not being displayed. If you go to all work orders, you'll notice that there is one that's completed. So what we're going to do is I want to quickly generate an invoice for it. There we go. And then now if we try to go somewhere else in the site, you'll notice that their invoice is ready. This will always appear when a new invoice is ready to be paid. You can either press the View Invoice, which brings you to this page, which has a Pay Now button. It explains which work orders are in there, and a nice itemized list where you can kind of see what's going on. You can click onto the finished work order. You can take a look around and kind of get an idea on how many hours were put into it, and look down here to kind of, see the work logs and this and that. And then back to my invoices, you can see it's created, paid, and things like if it was created on, if it's paid or not. And then if you press the Pay Now button, I'm not going to, of course, go through this process, but I'm going to just click it just for simple demonstration. If you click onto it, it'll take a few moments because it has to connect to the PayPal website. And then it brings you to this. And as you can see, you can easily pay using your credit card, or you can use a PayPal account. So it's a fully seamless process. There's no having to worry about anything. It's just super simple. Okay, and after you pay the invoice, this top invoice thing will of course disappear after the invoice has been paid. But for this demonstration, this will actually unfortunately remain up here for the rest of my demonstration of this. Okay. So in each work order, as you can notice, there's the anticipated due date of the work order itself, the total amount of hours in this work order at the moment, and the estimated cost so far, and the current rate, which is based on demand. And if you go into the work log itself, you can normally see a very detailed log on it that explains exactly what has been updated, altered, and what's been basically done in the code base during that coding session. You can even click onto the revision here and take a look and kind of see what else is the actual source code and kind of see what's been changed if you're a technical person. And then if we go, and then I'm actually going to go through the source code section right here right now at the moment, since it's kind of important. If you click under version control, you'll see all the current source code we have for your project. You can actually view a very detailed commit log. This you can actually go through this yourself at the moment. If you go to this URL up here /source code, you'll see this. This is a fully open source project that I released open source for anybody to use. It's a DVD collection website where you can manage your DVD collection in that. I created it for a friend's birthday, which is why it's called Cinnamonic. And you can go around and kind of look at this entire source code and kind of play around with it and see how it works. But as just an example, I'll kind of show you that you can kind of see, it does full highlighting of text. If you go to, I'll go to one that has lots of changes. Go to views here, go to view diff. You can view a diff from the previous revision. You can go view history, which will show a history of all the changes within the source code repository. And you can go back to one of them, for example, and see a diff from that. And that's basically how the source code repository system works, which is, it's a very handy tool if you're a techie or you're just interested on kind of knowing what's going on with your project in general. And next, we're going to go to the bug database system here. This is the bug database system which actually reports real live bugs. I have this other tab up here for a reason. I created a purposely 500 error page, which will essentially trigger a bug, which will appear in here in a moment. But I want to first go through a simple bug. This bug was created manually because I can create bugs myself as well too. If I notice that is something I have to do and I want to add to my to-do list, I could easily just create a bug and have it placed in here to remind myself at a future date to look into it. And bugs can be triggered using your web application as well. So this is a 500 error page. We're going to refresh this. That just triggered a 500 error. We go back to here, we refresh, and boop, there it is. Here is an error generated by the system. So whenever your application generates a nasty 500 error message when it's live, a bug will automatically appear into here. And when I'm developing locally, bugs won't appear in here. I'll see the bug. I'll resolve issues as I'm developing. But if there's a bug that actually occurs during development by an end user doing something inappropriate or finding something that I haven't found myself, then the bug will appear into here, and I can look at the bug like this, which is a standard Django traceback. I could look through it and kind of figure out why the bug was triggered and resolve the issue, or kind of see if the user was being malicious and even ban their IP address from the server itself if I have that kind of access to your server. And that is the bug database system. And now we're going to go into the project manager, which is a very super handy tool. This can also be accessed through the quote system. If you go to My Quotes, under your quote, down here you go Resources, and you'll see all the same things here. So, and then software specs is basically the Python requirements file, except it's expanded to just be better. It gives me full access to documentation. I can click on that, and I can quickly read up documentation on any package I want. It's very convenient for a development standpoint. And if I click onto here, I can see the requirements file, which a new developer, say if you bring a new developer onto the project, the new developer could easily grab this file and instantly be able to work on the project. Okay, and then we got external links. Actually, I could just press on the left there. External links is you can add new links yourself too, and it's just links to external resources like jQuery plugins or anything of any kind, like an example site, like like from a prototype site that you want me to use as an example, or some other stuff. And you can add links by title, description as optional, and then the URL. UML chart is not available in this demonstration, but in most projects I have a UML chart for it, and this is where the UML charts would be displayed, and the UMLs are stored in the subversion. And you can click the link and view the UML directly in the browser, no problems. And the database info is just that. It has the model and all the fields and the field types, so you can kind of view things without having to look at the code. You could look at the code if you wanted to, but why when this is just so much easier and so much more pleasant to look at, right? And then miscellaneous notes is just notes that you can add or I can add. This just is a note that you can create, and you can select various things. You can also create links in them as well. So if you go add, you can create a title, a note type, and then the content. And the content is in Markdown formats. You can use Markdown, which is very similar to Wikipedia wiki formatting. So if you can wiki formatting, then you're all set to go. You can just like add points like that, and yeah, very, very simple. And HTML templates is where you can upload various resources that I might need to use on my side, like HTML files or CSS files or other things you might want to use, but they have to be in zip format. And I will unzip it and put everything into the put everything up there accordingly. So it's title, browse for it, and upload file. And last but not least is the schedule system. Click onto schedule here. And this is where you can keep track on when I'll be working on your particular project. Here you can see the exact times I'm working on the project in the current time zone selected. If you want to change, if you say you're not in the Winnipeg time zone, I would recommend altering it for you kind of get an idea on where we are. So let's say we're in the Toronto time zone. We set that, and now it's Toronto. And you can even see a weekly view, so you can kind of get a better idea on how things are working. And it even mentions the due dates for anything current. So it mentions the entire project is the entire quote is due here, and then we have the due dates for the specific quote for the specific work order here. And that is the entire. That's basically the entire project management system there. It gives my clients the full ability to see lots of various things that they need access to without me having to constantly being informing them, and they never have to ask for anything at all, and everything is just here. And as far as I know, no other independent contracting company does this or has such a system built and configured for that purpose. This is a fully customized system. I built it myself using Django, so it's also a great example of my current abilities on what I can do with Django code. And on the schedule here is also an iCalendar file, which you can import into various PIM applications. So you can see this calendar directly in any application. And the file is dynamically generated, of course, using Django, using a Python extension. So the calendar will always be populated in your PIM program or Google Calendar, wherever you place it. But yes, this has been a demonstration of the Kevin Veroneau Consulting Services Project Management Tools. I hope to see you be in contact soon for a potential project. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye now.